Ramona, Woody, Clinton, Frank. Topics, we got lots of them. Harper, at home, cooking. Perhaps with a little help from some home cooking.
His helmet.
A new home. Philly, LA, what's cooking? E.T., going home. In the process, hitting way too close to home. We bringing you Colin Sexton Summer League level intensity to this Tuesday around the horn. Let's go.
I mean,
in July, 4:30 on ESPN2. Is that like a Summer League?
It's Around the Horn, the show of competitive banter.
Bring it, guys.
Josh Hart.
So much to react to from Harper's home field home run derby heroics. So much for the field hurting the event. So much for Harper feeling the pressure. At least for a night, so much for 214 and 400 million. That was so much fun, I can't even lie. A record total 221 homers and a furious final round comeback by Harper in bonus time from an 18-9 deficit to Kyle Schwarber that made Harper just the third to win the home run derby at home. With his Pops pitching, no less. More on that in a second. Nice to see a narrative give way to a great story. Clinton, you're a Nationals fan and you were at Nationals Park last night. So was last night just a great moment, a memory for fans like you, or could it mean something more for Harper and the Nationals?
I think it's a lot of both. If we think about great moments in Nationals history, we've only really got four. We've got Ryan Zimmerman walking off to open the park. We've got Strasburg, whose debut was a big deal. And we've also got Jason Wirtz walk-off playoff hit. This is on the list. Do not undersell how important that is to this franchise, and here's the reason why. Bryce Harper is there to create moments like that for a relatively new franchise in the city. And so that's why when you think about how this is going to affect things in the long term, what you hope is that he can realize you're not going to get this anywhere else. You're not going to be that kind of star in some other city on some other team. So for me, it kind of closed the book on whether or not we really are mad at each other in terms of fans being mad at Bryce being mad at the organization. He did what everybody wanted him to. He won the big one at home in the big spot.
Isola?
Let me tell you something, Clinton. The Yankees have had 4 good moments this month alone. I will say this. I thought it was great, especially the scene with his father. It's the whole thing about, playing catch with your father, except he's hitting bombs with his father throwing the ball. It's still going to be about the way the season ends. Do they get to the playoffs, number one? Do they win a couple of rounds? Could they actually make it maybe to a World Series? And then it's going to be about the money. Which team is willing to offer them the most? And just remember this. I know a lot of you aren't going to like this. The last 4 Derby winners all play in New York. 2 on the Yankees, 2 on the Mets. Keep that in mind.
All right. Good to know. Woody Page, what you say?
Yeah, that's really, how's that working out for them in New York, really, when you think about it? So, yeah, and Clinton, I would just mention that one of the great moments in Cincinnati Reds history was their hometown guy won the home run derby. Where is he? He's in New York City, too. So throw him into the mix. I think that you got to worry, Clinton, again, about how's this going to affect his swing in the second half of the season. I mean, is this guy now going to hit 150 for the rest of the year because his swing was affected? I think it's only going to matter if they are going to take this and offer up the money that will require him to stay there. Otherwise, people are going to forget this great moment in Nationals history.
Ramona?
Look, I just thought it was a great moment altogether. I watched the whole thing, and I was rooting as hard for Bryce's dad as I was for him because there was so much pressure on his dad throwing pitches, and there was a couple of stretches where he looked like he was getting tired and throwing it inside and outside. And it was a great home run derby. It was a great night for baseball. I hope they can capitalize on this because you just had the signature performance of your hometown star in his home park. And I know we're all going to get into the free agency and his 214 batting average, et cetera, et cetera. It was just a great night. And Darren Rovell already reported that Under Armour sold out of the shoes he was wearing. I hope they sell that bat he was wearing. I hope they sell the American flag that was on his sleeve. It was just a great night, and I think the All-Star game needed that.
Yeah, few people can excite a crowd the way Bryce Harper can. He's unique in that way. Among the most excited players in the game, obviously. Clinton, just take us more inside of Nationals Park. Like, how electric was it? It was fun watching it at home. What was it like being there?
I was there a couple hours before the gates opened, and when they opened at 5 p.m., people were 25 deep, all the way ready to get in 3 hours before this thing started. Max Scherzer starting the game tonight. Bryce won it yesterday. He had the DC headband going as well. He was skipping out of the dugout on his way to the final round. He had a cherry blossom bat. This was a massive deal, Woody.
Okay.
Do not try to undersell what this means to the Nationals fans.
Okay, but wait a second. Let's get to Pops for a second. Now, Pops is yoked, so I'm not going to be the one to tell him that he was cheating, but a lot of people on social media and the internet notice that Pops might have been bending, if not breaking, Derby rules, which state that the previous hit has to land before you can throw the next pitch. So that helped Harper hit like 9 homers in 40 seconds in order to force extra time. So did that take away from that moment, Ramona, knowing that Pops might have, hooked his son up with some extra pitches there?
Man, people need to stop. What is going on? Like, first of all, that would be kind of a disadvantage because I think the biggest problem everyone has in the Derby is getting tired. And Bryce looked definitely tired at the end of that during his round. But the rules in the home run Derby, are we seriously going there right now? Like,
yes, there are Derby troopers out there. They got fun police. Clinton Ye's the last word.
It was a great moment, and if they fixed it, they should have fixed it because it made it better. How about that?
Frank, you got anything on this?
Well, first of all, if you were gambling on it, you might be upset, but I don't have a problem with him throwing as many pitches. Here's what's unique about baseball and the NBA. When it's your hometown team, a guy like Bryce Harper, you're kind of the unofficial host of the event, and I'm glad that he really bought into it and, enjoyed the moment and put on a show.
Go ahead, Woody. We way past the horn. Go ahead.
Butch Cassidy said there are no rules in a knife fight. There are no rules in a home run derby. Let him win.
And look, it made it better. It ratcheted up the intensity and the enthusiasm by the end, seeing him go homer after homer after homer. If that's the rule, they need to make this the rule. Throw as many pitches as you want. All right, we're way past the horn. To tonight, which looks like it's going to be the last time we see Manny Machado in an Orioles uniform. USA Today's Bob Nightingale reports that barring a last-minute snag, the Orioles will trade Machado to the Dodgers tomorrow. However, Nightingale says the Brewers and Phillies could still be in the mix. Buck Stoney reported earlier that a framework was in place, but of course the Orioles want Machado to represent the team tonight in the All-Star game. So Ramona, you're in LA. What would Machado do for the Dodgers?
Yeah, take that, LeBron. That's a big move for the Dodgers right now. Like, this is a team that was one Yu Darvish meltdown away from winning the World Series last year, and they did absolutely nothing in the offseason. If anything, they lost a couple of key pieces, letting Brandon Morrow leave, whose spikes are in the Hall of Fame now because he was so good in the bullpen for them last year. They need help in the bullpen, but you don't pass up a chance to get a guy like this. I'm curious, though, what this means long-term, because the reason they want him now is Corey Seager's out for the year, but he's their shortstop now, and we assume in the future. But maybe that moves he means he moves to second base long term if they think about signing him long term.
Woody?
A deal like this proves that the Dodgers are going to win in the West in a tight race with 3 other teams, the Giants, the Rockies, and the Diamondbacks. So it's a twofer. They keep him away from the Diamondbacks. They add him to their team. They move Chris Taylor to second base. They really heighten their defense all the way around. You're getting Machado in his best year. And plus, he'll probably meet with Luke Walton when he gets to L.A.
Frank, get in there.
Well, right away, 24 home runs, 65 RBIs. He would lead the team in both of those categories. So you're adding a big-time player. But Ramona mentioned starting pitching and bullpen. A player like this will help you through the regular season, and they should be a playoff team. Machado will help you. But come playoff time, starting pitching and especially late relief, that's what's going to decide it for them.
Clinton?
Yeah, do we know that Machado is going to be some great playoff player? I mean, that's, to be determined. I mean, he's a good bat to add to the lineup, but other than that, I think it's an interesting rental. However, Chase Utley did say he's going to retire, so that infield shift is not really that far-fetched if you're thinking about trying to put him at shortstop and move some other things around. I don't hate it, but I wouldn't expect Dodgers fans to suddenly think that you're going to win the World Series.
All right. Let's move on to a different kind of franchise player, or franchise, rather. No surprise, but no last-minute, long-term deal for Le'Veon Bell and the Steelers. And his agent says as a practical reality, this likely will be Le'Veon's last season in Pittsburgh. It'll be his second season in a row playing under the one-year franchise tag. Now, Bell tweeted it will be his best season to date. He's coming off an all-pro year in which he logged 406 touches, 60 more than any other player. Bell's agent added that it became obvious that the Steelers were more interested in paying the position than they were paying the player. So which side should have more regret about not getting a deal done, Woody Page?
The Pittsburgh Steelers, not Bell, because Bell is going to get his money for this year being franchised again. But let's remind everybody, Michael, that you can continue to negotiate. We've seen guys that are franchised that are taking that tag away. I just think the Steelers need to have him committed to having that best season and in the lineup in training camp. And the reason why is last year he really struggled in the first 3 games and came on strong, ended up with more than 49.5% of the touches of the Steelers during the case, and people don't realize that he is an offensive weapon, meaning that he had 85 catches last year, in addition to his 1,291 yards rushing, almost 2,000 yards. He is such a major part of that. Get the deal done, and the way you do it is give him a lot of guaranteed money so he knows that he's going to be protected if he does get hurt or his career goes downfield.
I think people do realize that he is an offensive weapon, and it has been reported also that he's going to skip training camp, Ramona Shelburne.
Yeah, look, he's right. I mean, he should be paid as more than just a running back. He had 129 yards from scrimmage. That's the highest overall for any player in NFL history with more than 60 starts. I mean, this guy is the total package, but sometimes you're right, but you may live to regret it because that money may not be there for you long term if you get hurt, if you go to another team, if you have a different kind of season. Take the money when you get it in the NFL, especially when you're not a quarterback.
Frank, which side should be more concerned about a deal not getting done, the player or the team?
I feel badly for Bell, and I think he should have taken the money because the position he plays, he's only 26. He has 8,000 yards. He's played 62 career games, but it's different when you're the left tackle or you're the quarterback who's protected or a pass rushing linebacker. When you play that running back position, as important as he is, and he's a great player, out of all the positions, that's the one where you seem to be one hit away, and then the next thing you know it, you kind of fall off the map. That's why, to me, take the money now.
Clinton?
I absolutely agree. I don't understand what's going on with his representation. I mean, you really honestly think you're going to get that many more chances to cash in a league like this when you touch the football that many times a game? Yes, it means you're an effective player, but as they said, guys on the team have said, when Le'Veon wasn't around, they kind of forgot about him and they figured out a way to make it work otherwise. I don't think this is a smart long-term decision for his future, never mind the football.
All right, Woody, last word as his de facto agent here.
What you guys are missing, though, is that they were in position to win a Super Bowl last year if they'd have gotten past the Patriots. What do they need to get past the Patriots? They need Bell. You want him from the very beginning. So
they're going to have him.
Yeah, he'll show up. He'll be ready. He's doing a vegan diet and boxing, so he doesn't wear on his knees.
What a happy Bell.
All right, that's the horn. Here's your break. Buy or sell is next. Lots of NBA to get to as well.
See you later.
How about some World Cup?
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I'm as happy as a clam.
Disclaimer. Geico cannot guarantee you will be, quote, as happy as a clam, unquote. The Geico legal team cannot accurately verify clams even experience the complex human emotional state known as happiness. As an invertebrate mollusk living half submerged on the ocean floor with no arms, legs, or wireless access, what's there to be happy about? A clam's all like, oh, I'm so happy I didn't get turned into New England clam chowder today. Pronounced regionally as chowder. Chowder. Oh, that's so fun to say. What were we talking about again?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Buy or sell.
As promised to the NBA, we're coming to find out, courtesy of Mark Stein and the New York Times, that the Sixers not only shot their shot, but shot for the moon in their search for a new GM, as in Rocket star GM Daryl Morey. Not surprisingly, they were rebuffed. Morey, of course, is a strong connection to the Sixers' recent past. Sam Hinkie is Morey's protege and worked for him in Houston before starting the process in Philly. So the Sixers' search continues. What are you buying? What are you selling from this news, Frank Isola?
If I'm Daryl Morey, what if you said, you know what, I'll take the job and I'm going to hire Sam Hinkie as my assistant? I don't think Daryl Morey was ever going to take this job. He's got a good relationship with ownership in Houston. And remember, when Sam Hinkie went into Philadelphia, he said, here's my plan. They went along with it, and then they got rid of him midway through the plan.
Clinton?
Yeah, the Rockets were one player injury away from potentially winning the NBA title. As I tried to tell you guys for a while, it didn't happen to last. Why would you leave that with a rich owner in a good situation to go to Philadelphia where Jerry Colangelo might be getting involved if he doesn't like what's happening, and they can't even sign free agents from Europe? This does not seem like it was ever going to be a smart move, and I don't understand why Daryl Morey would have ever considered it.
Woodrow?
Oh, well, why wouldn't you consider it, Clinton? You go where LeBron is left. And what does that mean for you? Philadelphia can win the Eastern Conference and go to the NBA Finals. So I don't understand that, but I don't understand if Philadelphia's out looking for Hinkie's students, why don't they go get the teacher, the mentor himself? Bring Hinkie back. He's the guy who put the process together.
Ramona, is that crazy?
Oh, look, Sam Hinkie did a great job getting a lot of talent in there, but Brian Colangelo did a great job making a team around that talent, right? And I think that right? I mean, when he wasn't tweeting, or his wife wasn't tweeting. But I think, look, whoever takes that job, and I'm actually surprised that they swung for the fences on this one, because they actually have a pretty good staff internally where they could just keep it the way it is, and with Brett Brown kind of overseeing Alex Rucker and some of their other front office guys. But whoever takes that job, Sam Hinkie's going to get the credit. Joel Embiid has already nicknamed himself the process. Everybody's going to give credit to Hinkie. This is not a win-win for you. I mean, look, Mike, you're doing a great job filling in for Tony, but you're filling in for Tony, right? Like, you don't get credit.
Whoa. LeBron, Luke, Las Vegas, Ramona, again, reports that they met over the weekend after James had only texted with Walton since joining the Lakers July 1st. Walton, drafted the same year as LeBron in 2003, wow, that's crazy, said that James is, quote, about the team. He's about doing things the right way, and he's about winning. I can work with those qualities. Shots at me aside. Quality work from you, as always, Ramona Shelburne. All right, we're going to start with you. Buy or sell the timing of LeBron's and Luke's first face-to-face meeting.
Well, I'm glad it happened soon. I mean, because obviously, look, LeBron didn't meet with anyone but Magic Johnson before he decided on the Lakers, but he did his homework. I mean, he didn't meet with the owner. He didn't meet with Luke Walton, but he did his homework on everyone involved. If this would have gone into the summer, if this would have gone towards training camp, then you have a problem. But look, he was off in Italy. He was doing his thing. And that it happened now and he's excited to engage with Luke is fine.
Woody?
I'm buying it. I think it makes total sense that you get with your new coach, since you've been accused of being a coach killer in the past because of all the guys that have gone down because of him, and you want to settle the things. And Luke was sitting there taking notes from all the other coaches. It was time for the two of them to actually sit down and face-to-face talk about what they were going to do together.
Clinton, buy or sell the timing of the meeting?
I'll buy it, but also I'm going to buy the delicateness of this relationship. Look, this is very important. I'm not saying Luke Walton is going to the Hall of Fame, but he played for that team for years. He's the coach now. He was even a broadcaster for that team at one point. He's been around that family for a while. LeBron can't just walk in and act like he owns the joint just because Luke Walton is a lower profile guy than he is.
Right.
You're 100% right, Clinton. Why wasn't he at the meeting on July 1st? He's the coach of the team, and if you're LeBron, to me, it's a bad look. You've met with everybody in Hollywood. DiCaprio, Al Pacino, John Wayne, Orson Welles, Steven Spielberg. Can you get around to meeting with Luke Walton, the coach of the team, for crying out loud?
Orson Welles is dead.
All right.
I forgot.
More from Ramona. Multitasking like a mug and making the rest of you look like a bunch of slackers. All of you. Come on now. Get it together. League sources telling her and Woj that Kawhi Leonard seriously is considering participating in USA Basketball national team's mini camp in Las Vegas next week. Nice stage to show potential new teams how well that quad has recovered. It also offers an opportunity to interact with Pop, who doubles as the national team's coach. To heck with it. I'm going back to you, Ramona Shelburne. Buy or sell Kawhi taking part in national team minicamp?
Yeah, I'm buying it. I think this is going to be fascinating to watch. Him out there trying to show off his recovery from the quad injury. From what I hear, he looks great right now, and it could be right back out there. But there is some danger in doing that. If you show out, if you look really good, the Spurs are already asking for the moon, and they're not getting any of the kind of return they want for him. If he looks too good, they may not move him at all and dare him to come to training camp, which he definitely does not want to do.
Another point for breaking stories and basically producing the show, even though you took credit away from me for hosting it. Woody, what you got?
Thanks, Ramona, for giving us the shell bomb again. I think it is a fantastic story that he's going. But when, Michael, you talk about interacting with Pop, there's 35 guys there. I mean, is he going to get to spend like 4 minutes with him and say, you go in now? I mean, that's not going to advance that. If I were him, I'd maybe go and play sort of poorly so other teams would not have to give up as much if he wants to leave there.
All right, what you got, Clinton?
Pardon me for not breaking any stories. It's All-Star Weekend. I was hanging out with legendary sports writer Claire Smith, so, that's what I was doing with my
good name drop. Good name drop.
But I actually think this is a class move from Kawhi Leonard. He's getting out there. He's actually playing basketball, which is all we wanted to see you do anyway. Can you get up and down the court? We're actually going to learn something about the situation. I'm happy about it.
Frank?
Kawhi Leonard's playing basketball, I'll believe it when I see it. And if I'm the Spurs, you're nuts to trade him to the Lakers. Don't trade him to LeBron and in conference. Trade him to the East.
The Knicks.
Hey, Clinton, you hit a lot of home runs today. I tried to throw you some nice pitches.
It's all good, man.
Not quite enough. Woody?
You didn't throw me?
Sorry, man. Ramona, great job today. Frank, you're all right, too. See y'all in Showdown.
Before you hit the road for any vacation this summer, visit GNC. You need to stay healthy, and GNC has the highest quality solutions and supplements in the industry. GNC brand products pass up to 150 quality checks. You can be sure you're getting the best prices with GNC's price match guarantee. GNC doesn't just match prices, they beat them by $1. Or try something new. If it's not right for you, return it for a full refund. You heard it right, a full refund. This summer, live well with GNC. Exclusions apply. See an associate or GNC.com for details.
All right, let's show this down. Earl Thomas took his gripe with the Seahawks to the gram, captioning this pick with, quote, extend. If you don't want me, let's make a trade happen. I understand it's a biz, close quote. Remember Thomas, 29, and entering the last year of his contract. He asked Jason Garrett to, quote, unquote, come get me last season. Extend him or trade him, Ramona Shelburne?
Trade him. It kind of sounds like that's what he wants, right? I mean, he's already asking the Cowboys to come get him, and like they've made it. They're going to the youth move. They're not paying any of their veterans, and they got to do this.
I'm not trading him. I'm keeping him. He's a terrific player. You could still build that defense around him. I will say this about him. Enough with the Instagram. Just take it right to the team. Go to the front office and have it out with them.
Last year of his deal, he's aging. You're cleaning house. Go ahead and move him to Dallas. Last but certainly not least, let's talk about doing the most. The new face, and boy, do I mean face of the Cleveland Cavaliers franchise. Look at that face. Look at that Summer League intensity from Colin Sexton. The Lakers, they may have won the Summer League semifinal game behind Josh Hart 37, but I'm telling you, Colin Sexton won Summer League and NBA Twitter with that flex, right, Frank?
He looked great in that one moment, but remember, Josh Hart, who's dribbling the ball, and I get it, he missed that shot. He did score 37 points in the game.
Yeah, he did.
So they didn't flex enough.
So if I do the flex, am I going to win the showdown?
Yes, you will. Come on, Ramona, give it to me.
Let's go.
Give it to me.
Do I go like that too, or do I need to?
No, just
like
lock in eyes. Ramona, no, all jokes aside, 2 bylines. You practically produced the show. Great job today. Expectant mother. Can you fit in a FaceTime topic here? What you say? You got time for that?
I think so. Well, I get to call back to last week because I was following Serena Williams in her run all the way to the Wimbledon final, and I know she didn't win again, but man, she has inspired me as an expectant mom just to prove to see what you can still do after you have kids. I mean, one of the things that we talked about when we were having kids is how is this going to affect your life? Man, it looks like it's made her stronger, and I hope it does for me too.
So far, so good, Ramona Shelburne. Congratulations. Got any more stories you want to break before we go? Anything else you want to squeeze in?
Should have been in the celebrity soft.